In the year 2000, 3 Israeli soldiers were kidnapped and murdered by Hizbullah on the border of Lebanon. Their names were Benny Avraham, avitan, and Omar Souad. It took 3.5 years to return their bodies in a story that the entire Israeli nation followed closely. I met with Chaim Avraham and Yaakov Avitan, the fathers of 2 of the abducted soldiers, on this College of Management campus in the city of Rishon LeZion. It's been 12 years, but Chaim has not forgotten the feeling of losing his child and living in the unknown.
Think that you lose a child for 10 minutes. There's 3.5 years. We have no day and no night. We travel all over the world to find information. It's not easy to live without any knowledge about your loved ones. He stay a young boy, 20 years old, as we remember him when he killed. I miss him very much.
The story of the October 2000 kidnappings on Mount Dov is a story of a sad coincidence, or call it fate. A story that united these family men together years later with a common goal.
It was the Saturday Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. I was sitting in my armchair in the living room reading the weekend newspapers. Suddenly I heard my son's Noi. I heard his mobile ring. After a few minutes, he came down from his room, he came out of his room, down to the living room, very flushed and agitated, telling me, "Dad, 3 soldiers of my unit have been abducted. I'm going back there." My son, Noi, and Benny Avraham were the commanders of those patrols, and before the holidays, they planned their duty shifts. So, and upon his request, Benny Avraham went home on leave for Rosh Hashanah, and my son went home on the following fateful Saturday when this abduction happened. At that time, I served as the chairman of the computer science department here. And slowly, but from a very deep grief, slowly formed in my mind an idea to establish an R&D institute that would develop intelligence in robotic systems so as to replace soldiers in their dangerous missions. In June 2008, the R&D Institute for Intelligent Robotic Systems became a reality with the help of the 3 families and the help of the city of Rishon LeZion.
Normally, we have fences along our borders, and soldiers patrol along those fences to check if there are terrorists enter and cross those borders to enter to Israel. And what we are trying to do here, develop smart robots that will patrol along those borders and replace the soldiers, by that keeping the soldiers' life. In another scenario, in an urban war, when soldiers need to enter to each house to check if there are terrorists inside the house, if there are bombs inside the house. So what we want is to replace the soldiers again and enter robots that will check if the house is equipped with bombs. We are not building the hardware of the robot, we are building the software level, actually the brain of the robot. And what we are doing here is developing methods, we call them algorithms in computer science, that will make the robots smart and will help the soldiers to do their job better and in a safe way. The robots will speak with each other and they do it with a parallel and in a synchronized manner that they will do it in an efficient way.
So your software will actually simplify the process for the soldiers.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Because instead of the soldier having to operate all these different buttons, in reality, they can just turn on the robot and it'll know how to do it all by itself.
Correct.
We need such robots not only along the Gaza borderline, we need also along the Sinai borderline as to avoid such kidnappings. Just to remind everybody, 5 years later, Eldad Regev and Ehud Goldwasser were abducted under very similar circumstances. And a bit earlier, Gilad Shalit was abducted along the Gaza border in quite similar circumstances. That means that the problem exists.
My son Benny wanted to learn computers, but he kidnapped, and all these dreams, what's happened? When we start this project, I thought maybe other students can done what he want to do. It's hard for parents to see around you what's happened, and your son miss all this. But when you know that is a very, for a good reason and for good purpose, he killed to let us live here, I think that he done what he need to do.
I see each one of these sons as my own son. And it seems to me as if it happened to him. So whenever I see them, I see myself. I see myself in their situation.
My brother killed in the Yom Kippur War, and after 25 years, my Benny killed. This is the price that we need to pay for our independence. We hope that we don't need to pay more blood for a piece of land that the Jewish nation can live on. That's enough.
For JN1, I'm Sivan Raviv in Rishon LeZion.